Hey guys, welcome to lesson 7, the negative index. The negative indice law tells us that a to the power of negative m equals 1 over a to the power of m. What that means is any number on the numerator, if it has a negative power, it goes to the denominator. Any number on the denominator, if it has a negative power, goes to the numerator. First question, 2 over 3 all to the power of minus 1. That just means that you flip it upside down. So 2 over 3 becomes 3 over 2. You can see here that 2 goes from the numerator to the denominator and 3 goes from the denominator to the numerator. Similarly, question 2, you have 4 to the power of minus 1. We flip this upside down, so you can think of 4 as 4 over 1. So when you flip it upside down, it becomes 1 over 4. Question 3, 3 to the power of negative 2. The negative tells us that that becomes 1 over 3. You still have to square it. And when we square that, 1 squared is 1, 3 squared is 9. So that becomes 1 over 9. Question 4, x to the power of negative 6. The numbers don't change. The negative just means that you take something from the numerator to the denominator. So that becomes 1 over x to the power of 6. Question 5, both x and y have negative powers, so they both move to the denominator. Their powers stay the same though, except for the negative sign, so it becomes 1 over x y squared. Question 6, very similar, except 5 has a positive power. Its power is 1, so it stays on the numerator. X has a negative power, so it moves to the denominator. So that becomes 5 over x to the power of 3. Similarly, question 7, you can see x has a positive power, so it stays on the numerator. That's x cubed. Y has a negative power, so it moves to the denominator. So it becomes x cubed over y squared. Question 8 has a multiplication sign, so we resolve that first. We add our powers, that becomes 4y to the power of negative 7. Then we simplify this just like we've done before. The 4 stays on the numerator because it has a power of 1. The y has a negative power, so it moves to the denominator. Final answer, 4 over y to the power of 7. Question 9, we have a division sign in the middle there, so we resolve that first. X squared divided by x to the power of 4. 2 take away 4 is minus 2, so that's x to the power of minus 2. For the y's, we do 5 take away 8, that's minus 3. So that's y to the power of minus 3. Both of those are negative, so they both move to the denominator. 1 over x to the power of 2, y to the power of 3. Question 10, put your invisible 1 there as a power of 12. Expand those brackets. You see that both of those now have negative powers. So we move both of them to the denominator. So it becomes 1 over 12 squared x to the power of 6. That's very close to finished. You can just write 12 squared in a slightly better way. So it becomes 1 over 144 x to the power of 6. Recall that a minus 1 just means you flip it upside down. So x over 2 just becomes 2 over x. Question 12, be careful, that 2 is outside the brackets, so it has a positive power, and we don't multiply it by minus 2 when we expand those brackets. So the 2 stays there, a is to the power of minus 8, b is to the power of minus 6, so the 2 stays on the numerator, a and b both move to the denominator. Final answer is 2 over a to the power of 8, b to the power of 6. Question 13 looks complicated. We're going to deal with that negative power first, and just the negative part of it. So the negative sign means that you flip it upside down. So 3c to the power of 4 becomes the numerator, and 2a squared b cubed becomes the denominator, and the minus 5 changes to a 5. We can now expand the brackets just like we've done in past lessons. And we can solve this question. So we expand the bracket by multiplying all the powers. That's 3 to the power of 5, c to the power of 20, all over 2 to the power of 5, a to the power of 10, b to the power of 15. And you can write 3 to the power of 5 as 243, and 2 to the power of 5 as 32. Question 14 onwards, if we were to go backwards and not have any indices in the denominator, then you could write 1 over 2 to the power of 5 as 2 to the power of negative 5. You can see that positive power becomes a negative as you move it from the denominator to the numerator. For question 15, the 10 is already on the numerator, so you don't have to have a negative sign for the power there. Only the n, because that moves from the denominator to the numerator, so that becomes 10 n to the power of negative 3. Similarly, for question 16, 6x is already on the numerator, so we don't have any negative power for those. Y and z is both on the denominator, so we need to put a negative sign in front of those powers. That's it for this lesson. I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.